Introducing GForceTV. GForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GForceTV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway, and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GForceTV is also the new home for Rivals Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GForceTV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivals and GForceTV racing leagues. GForceTV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GForceTV.
Hello and good evening, everybody. We welcome you to week number 4 of action with your Epsilon Sprint Wraps, Big Block Modifieds. And tonight, we head to the dirt track at the Charlotte Motor Speedway for some Thursday night Thunder action. Good evening, everybody. I'm Sean Newstead, and we welcome you in to the Gambler Motorsports pre-race show to get everybody set up for tonight's action. As you see, the cars out there on the racetrack. The small block feature finished up just, a little under 10 minutes ago. So those drivers who are advanced, doing some double and in some cases triple duty, they've got a little couple minutes here, get a little refreshing drink of water to cool down, and then get set to go because we have action coming up. And this will be a good one here tonight for some Thursday Night Thunder here on the GeForce Racing Leagues and right here on GeForce Esports. Welcome to the Gambler Motorsports pre-race show. Gambler Motorsports, an esports racing team. They compete weekly across the iRacing platform. The team has drivers entered in dirt races, sports cars, asphalt oval. They even compete over in endurance races. Head on over to Facebook and give Gambler Motorsports a follow. You can see the cars have gone pit side, so the last-minute driver instructions going on at the pit meeting down there, and that means we have an opportunity here to update you on the season progress with 3 races in the books so far this season. Still plenty to go. Your iRacingLeagueManager.com points update coming up here. Now, iRacing League Manager, that is where you want to go, iRacingLeagueManager.com. If you run or manage any iRacing League, let iRacing League Manager make it easier for you. Go to iRacingLeagueManager.com to see exactly how they do that. And here's what I like. We go to iRacing League Manager and boom, I've got the point standings for these Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Block Modifieds, where Justin Sick comes into week number 4 as your points leader in that 15S machine. He right now is 6th quick. Thus far in practice as, new paint scheme on the 15S ride here tonight, I do believe, as there's a look at several of the cars parked down there on pit road. Justin Sick, your points leader, the 15S. He's got Francis Major, Bam Bam right behind him, the 25 coming into this one, 11 points out of the lead. Daniel Blau sits 3rd in the point standings ahead of Jeffrey Barker, who is 4th, and Kyle Parker, who picked up the feature win here last Thursday night. He completes your top 5 in the point standings. 6th in the points, that's Nicholas Vickery. John Hines sits 7th. Chris Steele sits in the 8th spot. Currently 9th in the points is Steve Shaw, and Gunther Gretziger completes your top 10 coming into the points action here at the dirt track at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Talking about last week where it was Kyle Parker getting the win. Remember, Aiden Young was second, Preston Cranmer third, John Hine and Francis Major were the rest of the top 5. And we've had 3 different winners thus far this season on these Epsilon Sprint Racks big blocks. Kyle Parker, last week's winner. AJ Abreda picked up the win week number 2 at Knoxville and Lernerville. The opening week went to Kevin Fry in his number 21. So that's a look at your iRacing League Manager points update and a look back at how we've gotten here to week number 4. Don't forget, next Thursday night, we'll be right back here on GeForce Esports, and we will have the action coming to you from the dirt-covered Bristol Motor Speedway. So for the first time ever, GeForce Racing League's taking the dirt to Bristol, and we will have the action coming up next week. Don't forget, it all kicks off on Monday night with the SPGC 3D Printing Renegade Series that you can catch here on GeForce TV. And don't forget, tomorrow night we've still got more action here at the dirt track at Charlotte. The Spartan Racing Pro Late Models, they'll be in action 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central tomorrow night. And our friend Joe White over with OSRN, they'll have the call of all the action coming up tomorrow night. Again, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central with the Spartan Racing Pro Late Models on some Friday night fun for everybody. Your VMR Wraps qualifying session coming up here in just a moment. Before we get to that, I want to take a moment here. Justin Sick Racing Photos bringing you the Driver of the Week each and every week here for the GeForce Racing Leagues. Congratulations to this week's Driver of the Week, Patrick Spangler, picking up the honors for week number 3. Now, Patrick started 17th in the Raiders race last week and wheeled that thing all the way up to P4 in his 051 machine. Of course, we had several other honorable mentions, including Trent Verstraeten, Jeff Barker, and Preston Cranmer, who also gained 13 positions in their various races. But congratulations to the Justin Sick iRacing Photos Driver of the Week, Patrick Spangler, who celebrates it here during week number 4 of the GeForce racing season. Of course, Justin Sick iRacing Photos, you can take a look at that on Facebook. Look it up as, well, the man behind it, your points leader, coming into tonight's action. So congratulations again to our Driver of the Week and all of the honorable mentions. Of course, that's just one of the many honors each and every week with the GeForce Racing Leagues. Of course, there's about 20 different GeForce Racing Leagues. You can check them all out. GeForceRL.com is where you want to go and learn more. If you're looking for sprint cars, if you're looking for modifieds, you're looking for late models, you're looking for NASCAR trucks, NASCAR Cup, they've got about everything. Maybe you're the retired lifestyle. Yeah, they've got some leagues for you. GeForceRL.com is where you want to go to see all of that information. Cars starting to make their way onto the speedway. It is time for some VMR Wraps qualifications here tonight. And let's start things off with your points leader. New scheme there for the Justin Sick 15S machine. As cars hit the speedway, this qualifying session brought to you by VMR Wraps. They're looking to fulfill all of your iRacing paint needs. The company made up of several different painters based all across the U.S., so that allows them to specialize in multiple paint styles across all types of cars. If you're looking to get a new paint, check them out on Facebook. That's VMR Wraps, bringing us tonight's VMR Wraps qualifying session. AJ Abreda going to go top of the charts in the 322 machine. You see him spinning her down into the grass there. Kyle Parker, though, he sits number 2 out here. The Spartan Racing 13, sailing it around the speedway, fresh off the victory last week. Shooting for that 15.999 set by Abreda. Parker not quite going to get there. He'll go 16:12 on lap number 2. Let's check Steve Shaw. He's sitting down here in the grass. Alan DeRocco out there on the track. Here is Brennan Weeks on the speedway. The 12 machine up to speed. We'll have a portion of the feature event tonight in the small blocks. Let's see what Brennan Weeks can do here. 16:171 for his second lap. So he will stay there at 5th quick. Got some Looks like just about everybody has turned their laps. Francis Major on the track. Right now, the 25 machine. Number 2 in your point standings coming into tonight. Taking a look at him, making his way around the speedway. This will be putting his first lap into the books. 25 competitors checked in here tonight at the dirt track for competition with these Epsilon Sprint Wraps. Big block modifieds. First lap for Francis Major. Well, he's up to speed now. He'll be coming around to see a checkered flag, or maybe a white flag, I should say. See the progress down there on the bottom. Major shooting for that 15.999 set by AJ Abreda, who's on top of the charts. The time for Major, not great. 16.23, going to put him there at the 17th quick spot. So AJ Abreda going to be your quick timer here tonight in the 15.999 for the 3:22 machine. Kyle Parker second quick, Leroy Buscombe third quick, and then Aiden Young and Brennan Weeks completing your top 5. Let's take a look at your results here one more time for our VMR Wraps qualifying session out here on the Speedway. Abreda, Parker, Buscombe, Young, and Weeks, your top 5, as we mentioned. Steve Shaw Sr., Justin Sick, Alan Duranko, Rory Collins, and GJ Boydell in the top 10 spots. And if you look at that, 11 drivers within 0.2 of a second of each other. Look at the split there between Kyle Parker and AJ Abreda. 0.02 of a second. So very close there for VMR Wraps Quick Time Honors here this evening, as drivers now getting set for their qualifying heat races. Those will be 8 laps in distance. Top 4 from each and every heat race moves on to tonight's A main. The others, they'll have to go into some consolation action for a last chance to make it to tonight's dance. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's opening heat race, brought to us by A&J Custom Creations. It'll be GJ Boydell on the pole position. He drives the number 14 machine. Next to him, that's your points leader, the 15S of Justin Sick, driving for the Firm Motorsports. Second row on the inside, that's Aiden Young, coming off the podium run last week in the 69 machine. And next to him, scheduled to be there, is the 322. Looks like he'll take a back start. AJ Abreda scheduled to be your 4th starter. Starting inside the third row, that is Steven Spees in the number 9 machine here tonight. It's 55 on the car. Steven Spees in the 55. Next to him, Garrett Papayet. We're going to have to keep an eye on this machine. He picked up the win a little bit ago in the small block feature. Also picked up the Renegades and Rebels feature event on Monday night. Yeah, this driver's been red hot here at the dirt track. Keep an eye on that 47. And then in the 4th row, Tom Gom, the 32-0. On the inside, outside, the 72 of Zach Chapman and John Hines scheduled to come from the back, and AJ Abreda going to drop to the tail as well. So that is your starting lineup for our first heat race of the night, your A&J Custom Creations heat race. Contact Andy Patton for your custom creations today as we go green right now on our opening heat race. Again, 8 laps. Top 4 finishers go directly to tonight's Epsilon Sprint Wraps A feature event. Immediately it is Justin Sick showing the way on this one, but they were 3 wide behind him. GJ Boydell works the bottom. Here comes Pepiot to the top. Peppy, they call him. He's had a little extra pep in his step lately with all those feature wins he's celebrating this week at 47 machine. Oh, Boydell loose off of turn number 4. He goes around down into the grass. Also looked like it slowed down Aiden Young's progress in the 69. He has dropped back to the 8th position. So right now, the 72 of Chapman, 720 machine, 720. He runs in the 4th and final transfer spot. Here it is up front. Look at this, your points leader. He has got some company. Papier all over the race leader, and here comes Spees looking to the inside. And wait there, let's go on board the 55 machine. Steven Spees looking back at the final transfer spot, looking forward right there at the nose of Pepiot, or at the tail of Pepiot's 47, right off of the nose of the car. As they'll flash down past the flag stand. Now 3 laps to go on this one. Steven Spees working in that 3rd spot as they head back down the back straightaway. He see Spees, Pepiot right in front of him. Sick, your race leader with 2 laps to go. About a half-second interval for your leader as they sail him off into 1. Now look at that battle for the 2nd spot. It has shaped up to be a good one between the 55 of Spees, who works the bottom, and Pepiot, who works the higher line off the corner. White flag is out. Final time down into turn number 1. Zach Chapman continues to hold the final transfer spot. The battle, though, is for position number 2. A little rub getting into the corner. Justin Sick is going to take the win on this one, and Pepiot holds on for second. Spees and Chapman getting transfer spots as well. So your A&J Custom Creations heat race into the books. A&J Custom Creations, specializing in laser engraving and CNC machining. They put their craftsmanship to work in every wood trophy and plaque that they produce. Here's your finish from heat race number 1, the A&J Custom Creations heat race. And there you see Sick, Pepiot, Spees, Chapman. They're going to the A main. Your quick timer, Abreda, Young, Hine, Gom, and Boydell. They will head to consolation action here in a short bit. Our second heat race of the night, brought to us by Howard Hanna Real Estate, has Daniel Blau on the pole position. That is the driver of the number 17 machine. Next to him, that'll be Alan Duranco in the 109. Brennan Weeks starting inside the second row in the 122, and last week's A-Main winner scheduled to start 4th. That's the 13 of Kyle Parker. Troy Stewart, the 117 car, he'll start inside the 3rd row. Bam Bam, Francis Major to his outside in the number 25 machine. 4th and final row, Jeffrey Kemper inside in the 181. Chase Blau to his outside in 5 or 55. Dealer's choice, whatever you want to go with tonight. Is there a little 5 on the car? Let's go with 5. So that's your starting lineup. Howard Hanna Real Estate bringing us heat race number 2. So we'll get set for a green here off of turn number 4. Brennan Weeks setting the pace on this one. Howard Hanna Real Estate, the number 1 family-owned and operated independent broker in the U.S. And Scott Hurwitz over at Howard Hanna. He's been a multi-million-dollar commercial and residential real estate agent for years. He can help you get the right realtor to make sure you get the best house for the right price. That's Scott Hurwitz at Howard Hanna bringing us heat race number 2. We are green on this one. There's Brennan Weeks and Alan Duranco heading on down into turn 1. Weeks on the bottom. He's got the advantage as they go down the back straightaway for the first time up to speed. Francis Major right there in the mix. Here comes Blau looking to the inside. In the number 5 machine, can't quite get there. Troy Stewart had the door shut on him. Daniel Blau, meanwhile, he's one of our points contenders at 17 machine. Had to drop to the back for the start of this one, but he has come forward up to the 5th spot already, and he works on a transfer spot with the 5 of Chase Blau. A couple of Blaus going at it, a little 3-wide action down into turn number 1. Thinking about it, doing it 4 wide here in heat race number 2 off of the second turn. The big mover, though, that's Daniel Blau. That's 17 machine from the tail now into a transfer as he runs in 4th. Meanwhile, up front, battle for the race lead. Alan Duranco, the 109. 122, Brennan Weeks right there. They race off of turn number 4. We'll be halfway home. And our Scott Hurwitz at Howard Hanna Real Estate heat race number 2 as they cross by the flag stand. Daniel Blau back here in the 4th and final transfer spot as Francis Major in front of him. Look at this run. Last week's winner, Kyle Parker. Check out that headline. He is not in a transfer spot right now. He is 1 out looking in. So 2 of your points contenders right there battling for the final transfer spot down the back straightaway and into turn number 3. Parker will go to the bottom, Blau on the top shelf. 2 laps to go in this one. 0.8 of a mile to settle the final transfer position. Still out front, it is Duranco. He has a comfortable edge over Weeks as they come to the white flag, but on this last lap, the battle will be right there. The last transfer spot. Francis Major may be falling into this battle for the final transfer spot as we speak. Final set of turns. Checker flag going to come out. Duranco's going to get the win. Weeks is going to go second for the transfer at the line. Daniel Blau just inches in front of Kyle Parker. So last week's A-Main winner of the Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Blocks going to the consolation feature here this week. Let's take a look at that finish. Hold your horses there, starting lineup. Let's take a look at your finish from the Howard Hanna Real Estate Heat Race number 2. Duranko, Weeks, Major, and Blau, they go to the A main by half a tenth. Kyle Parker behind Blau, he'll take 5th, and he goes to the B, as does Stuart Kemper and Chase Blau. Your coast-to-coast racing team heat race number 3 is next up on the speedway. Lance Ripka on the pole of this one in the 125. Rory Collins next to him in the 62. Steve Shaw Sr., he'll start inside the second row, and that's the 54 machine. Leroy Buscombe, who was second earlier in the small block feature event, the 171, he will start outside row 2. Chris Steele, the 80, starts inside row 3. Jeffrey Barker, the 513 on his outside. Final row, Nicholas Vickery, the 00 inside, and the 79 of Andrew Smith will be your 8th and final starter. Coast to Coast Sim Racing Team bringing you this heat race. They feature drivers from coast to coast in the U.S. and in Canada, and they're pleased to be part of the GForce Racing Leagues, and they've been part of the GForce Racing Leagues ever since day 1 of the leagues. See a drone view here of the dirt track. Lance Ripka, the 125, setting the pace, bringing us to the start here for our Coast to Coast Racing Team Heat Race number 3. Green flag ready to come out. It waits. We are underway. Good start there for Ripka as he leads over Collins, Steele, and Steve Shaw, who right now has the final transfer spot, but Nicholas Vickery having a good opening lap. He works to the inside. Can't quite get there. Steele, Shaw, side by side for 3rd. Slide job from Shaw. He will have the 3rd spot momentarily. Steele battling back around his outside. Down into 3 we go, off of 4. It's a 3-horse race for the final transfer spot. Nicholas Vickery working the bottom, Shaw in the middle. Chris Steele running a slightly higher line. He's got a run at Shaw now, down the back straightaway and into turn 3. That is going on. Behind your race leader, Lance Ripka. He's ripping the top side right now. And the 125 still has Collins in 2nd. Here's for 3rd. Oh, they stacked him up a bit over there. As the low line going to pay off there, Nicholas Vickery keeps his nose clean. He's got 3rd. He's got a transfer spot. Leroy Buscombe coming with him. He's in a transfer position now in the 171. So look at those two still battling for 3rd and 4th on the racetrack. Steve Shaw now settled back to the 5th spot. Steele runs in 6th. Andrew Smith, Jeffrey Barker, the rest of the running order on this one with 3 laps to go. But out front, there it is. Lance Ripka, your race leader. Rory Collins running behind him as they head on down into turn number 3. Let's go on board your 2nd place car as Collins continues to work, closing in just a bit at times on your race leader, the 25 of Ripka. Here's a look back of Rory's car. You see the distance back to Leroy Buscombe, who runs back there in the 3rd spot. There's Buscombe right now with Nicholas Vickery all over him as they head on down into turn number 3. Lance Ripka going to come off of turn 4. He'll be your winner of tonight's Coast to Coast Racing Team Heat Race number 3. Leading the entire duration of that heat race to take the checkered flag. So Heat 3 into the books here tonight. We'll take a look at how that one finished officially. Ripka, Collins, Buscombe, and Vickery. They're your transfers to tonight's A main. Shaw, Steele, Smith, and Barker. They'll go to tonight's B main, presented by SBGC 3D Printing. Speaking of that SBGC 3D Printing B main, it's time for that one as the field gritting up out there behind the pace vehicle. It is AJ Abreda on the pole position in the 322. Kyle Parker next to him, last week's A-main winner in the 13 on row 1. Row 2, Steve Shaw Sr., 54, and the 69 of Aiden Young. Young was on the podium last week, so keep an eye on those cars. Troy Stewart, the 117. Chris Steele, the 80 in row 3. Row number 4, John Hine in the 71, and Jeffrey Kemper in the 181. Fifth row, Andrew Smith, the 79 inside. Tom Gom, the 32-0 on the outside. Row number 6, Chase Blau, the 5 inside. Jeffrey Barker outside of him in the 5-1-3. And G.J. Boydell, the 14, is your 13th starter. 12 transfer to tonight's main event out of tonight's SBGC 3D printing B-Main. So the goal here, not be last for these drivers, as they will certainly do their best to make it to tonight's big dance. SBGC 3D Printing, committed to making the cutting-edge technology of 3D printing accessible for anyone that may have the need for the product to be manufactured. They use 3D CAD programming to work with you to create your invention or your creative project. You're thinking, invention or creative project, what could it be? Well, they've worked on oil and gas prototypes, props for cosplay. They've done hanging racetracks. They've done gears. They've done hydraulic pump parts, label holders, fishing poles. I've talked to Tom Taylor about making some RC race car parts for me. They can do just about anything. That's SBGC 3D Printing, bringing us this B-Main. 10 laps the distance, 12 transfer to the A, and we are green on this one as we head on down into the first turn. You see why I call him the 322, AJ Abreda there with the 22 on the door. He'll lead him down into turn number 3. Kyle Parker right there in hot pursuit. Shaw and Young side by side for the third spot as the top line really starting to come in here at the dirt track at Charlotte. Young working the top. As I say, that top line's coming in. Look at Shaw hang tough there in that position. Chris Steele in position number 5. As we work our way through the field. Stewart, John Hine right there. Oh, a new paint scheme on the 71 of John Hine. As that one's got a different look to it from Epsilon Sprint Wraps, one of our supporters here at the GForce Racing Leagues. He'll work himself off of turn number 4 in position number 7. Kemper, Smith, Chase Blau in the top 10. Oh, we've got trouble. G.J. Boydell sideways. Tom Gom with him. That is a race for the transfer spot now. G.J. Boydell has it. Gom one out of a transfer as they come off of turn number 4. 1 lap shy of the halfway point in tonight's SBGC 3D Printing B-Main for the Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Blocks. AJ Abreda continues to lead, but here comes Kyle Parker making the move to the inside. Halfway home, Slider getting into turn number 1. Abreda back to the inside of Parker. They're wheel to wheel, hub to hub, down into turn number 3. Abreda drives it deep down to the bottom of the racetrack, slides it up. Here comes the 13 of Parker back to his inside. Abreda a little defensive getting into turn number 1, blocking the advance of Kyle Parker. Parker back to his inside nonetheless. Down the back stretch they go. Kyle Parker, AJ Abreda putting on a show in the SBGC 3D Printing B-Main. Parker's going to slide up right in front of Abreda, and he closes the door and has the race lead. Young, Shaw, and Chris Steele remain in the top 5. Troy Stewart still 1 out and getting into the top 5, but comfortably in a transfer spot. Here come your leaders down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Kyle Parker, the 13, and the 22 of AJ Abreda. Abreda back to the inside, making the move here with a lap and a half to go, trying to come back for that race lead. Bragging rights on the line as a B-Main winner. We're going to start in the same row of the main event. They've got to keep it smart here. They're on the final circuit of this one, crossing each other over one more time. Uh-oh, a little contact. That's not what you want to do when you're running first and second, coming to the checkered. Checkered is out, and it'll be Kyle Parker by a slim margin to the line, your winner of tonight's SBGC 3D Printing B-Main. So that one goes into the books here tonight as the drivers will woe them down. A little warm-up session about to roll on to the speedway as we head on into your Icon Sim Sports intermission break on the racetrack. Let's take a look at the results from tonight's B feature event. And you will see Kyle Parker, AJ Abreda, Aiden Young, Steve Shaw, and Troy Stewart in the top 5 spots. Steele, Hine, Smith, Kemper, Barker rounding out the top 10. And then Chase Blau and G.J. Boydell get the final transfer spots to tonight's show. That puts all of the qualifying here tonight is in the books. We've got feature event action coming up just around the corner. Icon Sim Sports bringing you this little break in the action. Icon Sim Sports will bring you and the entire sim racing community a one-of-a-kind fixed chassis experience. It's really like none other. When you order from iconsimsports.com, you'll get a custom chassis engineered to accommodate you, your needs, and it will also give you the look, feel, and design of a real race car. That's all available right there. iconsimsports.com. That's where you want to go for that. Here's a look high above the racetrack as we get set for tonight's main event. That's coming up on the other side of this break. You're watching the Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Block Modifieds live on GeForce TV and GeForce Esports with Thursday Night Thunder. The A-Main is coming up next. Stay with us.
I love being home.
It all starts with the right house. That's where we come in. Howard Hanna.
I love
Home happens here.
being home.
People want to have a one-stop shop. They need us for now all these different services, not just the heating and air side.
When things are going wrong, you want the company that's going to be able to get things done as fast as possible for you.
Today, we're going to be in over 600 homes. What the customers can count on is we're going to send a competent person to your home with a vehicle that's stocked and prepared. We're going to do what's right.
Right now, we're waiving our $79 service fee with any Coolray, Brightbox, or Mr. Plumber service.
I love being home.
From finding the perfect house to making it your home, we'll be with you every step of the way. Howard Hanna.
I love
Home happens here.
being home.
Welcome back to the dirt track at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We're moments away from tonight's Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Block Modified A-Main event. Big thank you to Mr. Plummer for their continued support of the GeForce Racing Leagues. Welcome them on board, and great to have Atlanta's most trusted name in plumbing and drain services on board for our spring 2021 season. Of course, a lot coming up here in this main event brought to us by Epsilon Sprint Wraps. We'll have your Coolrays cooling, heating, plumbing, and electrical hard charger up for grabs at the end of this main event here tonight. Of course, we'll also have your Epsilon Sprint Wraps podium presentation at the conclusion of the feature event, so stick around. You'll hear from your top three finishers and your Coolrays hard charger recipient as well. And if we get an opportunity, we'll have a Malcolm's Mills mill riding replay if we get an opportunity here tonight. Tonight's main event, though, is brought to us by Epsilon Sprint Reps. More on them in a moment, because right now it is time to take a look at the starting lineup for this 30-lapper. On the pole, your points leader, and he said in the chat, let's go. It is Justin Sick in the 15S. Next to him, the 109 of Alan Duranko. Row number 2 on the inside, the 125, it's Lance Ripka. And next to him, the 47 of Pepe Garrett. Pepiot. Row number 3 on the inside, it's Brennan Weeks in the 122. Rory Collins in the 62 next to him. 4th row, Steven Spees, the 55 on the inside, with Bam Bam, Francis Major next to him. He goes 8th in the car 25. Starting inside the 5th row, it's Leroy Buscombe, the 171. Zach Chapman to his right in the 72. Moving to row number 6, it is Daniel Blau, the 17 on the inside. On the outside of your 6th row, that is Nicholas Vickery in car number 00. Going to your 13 starter, 7th row on the inside, last week's winner, Kyle Parker in the 13. AJ Abreda next to him. They finished 1 and 2 in tonight's B main. Abreda driving 322. Aiden Young, the 69 inside the 8th row, and starting 16th, that's Steve Shaw Sr. in the 54. Troy Stewart, the 117, and the 80 of Chris Steele, side by side in row 9. Row 10 is made up of John Hine in the 71 and Andrew Smith in the 79. Row number 11, Jeffrey Kemper inside, 181. The 513 of Jeffrey Barker on the outside. 12th and final row, Chase Blau, the 5 on the inside, and G.J. Boydell, the 14, will start on the outside. That is your starting lineup for tonight's main event, presented by Epsilon Sprint Wraps. As we get set to go green off of turn number 4. Epsilon Sprint Wraps, if you're looking to stand out from the competition, Epsilon Sprint Wraps creates tailor-made graphics and logos to fit your personal taste. They've got to focus on realistic design. With Epsilon Sprint Wraps, you look like you drove off of the local dirt track and into iRacing. Champions choose Epsilon Sprint Wraps. We are just about set to go, looking for the green flag off of turn number 4. Barney's got green in the air. It waves, and we are underway. Thursday Night Thunder with the Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Block Modifieds green. Justin Sick into the race lead in that sick-looking new look on the 15S. Duranko runs in second. Lance Ripka, Garrett Pepiot side by side. Third there momentarily. Ripka's got it on the bottom. Pepiot coming to call on the top. Ripka's got trouble, and they're stacking up on the bottom side of the speedway. Caution flag is out, and oh no, Lance Ripka is stuck up on one of those tires. And yep, he'll get the virtual tow truck back to the pit stall there for the Ripka Designs 125. So under the caution early on in tonight's main event, you saw exactly what transpired over there in turn number 2. Let's see if we can get another look at it here. As you see Steven Spees there, the 55. He's going to follow the 125 of Lance Ripka into the scene here. And, oh, maybe a little contact there. Turns the 125 of Ripka. Spees trying to not get into him again. Will do so. And then it's on after that. The 171, Leroy Buscombe gets piled in there. The 13 of last week's main event winner getting into there. Kyle Parker, he's able to drive away. Yeah, the short end of the stick there, Lance Ripka. That is one of the not fun things about those infield tractor tires. You catch one of those, you get stacked up on it, and you will go absolutely nowhere. And that's exactly what he did right there. As that was a look at the caution flag here early on in tonight's feature event. Justin Sick looking strong in this one. Your race leader out front in the 15 machine as we will get set for the green flag. iRacing pace truck drops them off as heads back pit side. Single file restart here. As we look back behind Justin Sick as you see the suspension stand up. He's on the gas. Try to pull away from the rest of the field as they hustle on down into turn number 1. Off of turn number 2, Sick, your race leader. Duranko, Pepiot, Major, and Collins in the top 5 here early on in this one. We'll see this track change quite a bit. It's wide right now, but you'll see it start to get some character, especially getting into turn 3, and some a little bit on the end of the front straightaway. As you see, Leroy Buscombe, Rory Collins battling in the top 5 right there. Buscombe now slips back to the 6th spot. Zach Chapman coming on the inside. And there's Kyle Parker, the 13, out of the B main. He's in that mix. Up to the 7th spot. 6 positions gained already for the driver of the 013. So we'll keep an eye on that machine as it works around the racetrack. 3 wide. Oh, he's got contact. And they're going to sort that one out for the time being. Wow. Kyle Parker, a little lucky there that contact didn't turn the Spartan Racing car as we go under the caution. Yellow is out with 25 laps to go on this one. As the 15S of Justin Sick continuing to show the way out front here early on in tonight's Epsilon Sprint Wraps feature event. Let's take a look at a Malcolm's Mills replay. Keep an eye on that 17 of Daniel Blau. A little contact turns him up the racetrack. A little more contact, and that's all she wrote for that Spartan Racing number 17. And that is what put us under the caution. So all of our replays tonight, courtesy of Malcolm's Mills Mill Riding, based in Oakland, Ontario, Canada. Malcolm's Mills Mill Riding is a full-service mill riding contractor featuring custom welding, fabricating, and full service for their industrial clients. You can learn more online at mmmillwriting.com. That's Malcolm's Mills Mill Riding, mmmillwriting.com. Justin Sick showing the way in this one. The 15S, Alan Duranko's followed him since the start of this one. You see them, they'll double up for the restart here. Pepiot inside, fresh off the small block win. By the way, Buscombe was 2nd earlier tonight. Alan Duranko was 3rd, so a lot of these names doing well in this one. Francis Major, Lance Ripka, the rest of the top 5 in tonight's small block feature event. Back to the green in tonight's Epsilon Sprint Wrap. Oh, we've got trouble here immediately on the start. I think Rory Collins may have been turned up the racetrack, and that puts us under the yellow once again. Let's roll it back here and take a look at what happens to Collins on the start. Yeah, you're just going to see on this Malcolm's Mills replay, AJ Abreda may have made a little contact. Yeah, a little bit of trouble there off of turn 4. And Rory Collins going around on that one. Let's jump back here one more time. And, you know, it's tough on these restarts. You're really trying to judge what the driver in front of you is doing. And let's take a look here right next to... Yeah, you hear the pace pick up. Yeah, no good, no good. Boy, to his credit, though, he was really trying to stay off of him. And just a little too much contact, and that was all she wrote for that one. So we go under the yellow once again in tonight's feature event. Here's Justin Sick. Right now we're on board with Francis Major, the 25 machine. Yeah, their arms work here even under caution. You're always working here in these big block modified. So much suspension in these machines, you really got to work them. As on that restart, Alan Duranko given the race lead there by iRacing timing and scoring. So Duranko, your race leader. Justin Sick runs in that 2nd spot, and we run in 3rd right here with Francis Major as they head back down into turn number 3. Let's just watch here for a moment here how much work Francis Major has inside this cockpit. Out of the gas through the corner, maybe 80% throttle through the holes. top 3 as we were watching them before on board. As the caution flag coming back out over the speedway now with 21 laps to go. So under the caution here once again. See if we can find the caution here. Looks like Troy Stewart may have had trouble out here on the speedway in this one. Oh, there we go. There you see Stewart with trouble. The 72 of Chapman gets hit. Spees is going to get hit. Shaw's in there. And it looks like John Hine part of the incident as well in that 71 machine. So all sorts of trouble for several drivers here on this Malcolm's Mills mill riding replay. Seeing John Hine driving away from the incident site there in the 71 machine. So some tough breaks here for several drivers early on in this feature event here tonight. So Alan Duranko is your race leader in the 109 machine. He will show the way. Justin Sick restarts second again. Kind of an odd deal there with such a quick caution the last time. Or a couple of cautions ago for the 62 incident there in turn 4 with Rory Collins. iRacing timing and scoring giving the lead to Duranko on that one. And he's been able to hold it since, but he's got Justin Sick right there on him as they will get set for the green here off of turn 4. Still 2/3 of this feature event to go, and we get back to the green. Duranko drops the hammer, and away we go. Duranko third in the small block feature event. Can he make the upset here tonight in the big blocks? Still a long ways until that checkered. Sick runs in second. Pepiot running third. Look at this 3-wide battle, including Francis Major and Kyle Parker from the B main. Now in the top 5 is the driver of the 013. Just behind him, Nicholas Vickery. He's charged 5 spots forward in this one in that 00 machine as he battles to the inside of Leroy Buscombe for position. Off of turn 4 we go. Leaders have 18 laps to go in this one. A hot and heavy fight just there on the fringe of the top 5. Caution flag over the speedway. Yellow is back out on this one. Back under the caution here, just shy of the halfway point in tonight's Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Block Modified feature event. And there you go. You can see Daniel Blau. He's got all sorts of trouble on that 17 machine. He is just trying to limp it back to the pit stall, as we've seen him have trouble here all night long. And right now, that is not an easy job that he is doing there to drive that mangled up race car to his pit stall. So tough night here for that number 17. We know Daniel Blau has much better nights ahead of him, but boy, he has really had his work cut out for him here this evening. Seeing a couple other cars exiting the pits there as well, heading in there to get some repairs. Good night going though for this driver right there, the 109, Alan Duranko. Talked about him, third in the small block feature event. Should also mention last week, very different racetrack. Fairbury, very small, tight little racetrack. But last week, your feature winner, the 13, he was actually using a small block. That being Kyle Parker. Now, Parker, it looks like he is, it would be about there in the 6th spot here on this restart. He was using the small block just on the small racetrack, gave him much better throttle control. He told us in the Epsilon Sprint Wraps podium presentation after the race. I don't think anyone would utilize the 358 power plant here this week on the dirt track at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, which is a much bigger track, about 0.4 of a mile. As we look at our official race stats, there you see track length 0.39, so just about 0.4 of a mile here at the dirt track. So Last week, quarter mile, 3:58 did okay. 4/10 of a mile, I don't think so, but we'll find out when we go to the Epsilon Sprint Wraps podium presentation after this one. Green flag ready to appear again. Duranko drops the right foot. Here we go. 17 and remaining on this one. Duranko to the top. Justin Sick falls in line behind him. Here comes Garrett Pepiot. We saw him utilize the high line. He started 20th on Monday night in the Renegades event and ended up number 1. He's got another strong run going in this one after picking up the small block feature event less than an hour ago. He's got Francis Major in front of him. Here comes Kyle Parker. Top 2 splitting Pepiot here into current point standings for these Epsilon Sprint Wraps big blocks. Pepiot wanted to go to the bottom, but the 13 of Parker was there, and Parker's got the 4th spot. He has gained 9 spots in tonight's main event, and certainly is a contender for tonight's Cool Rays Hard Charger Award. Oh boy, there's a big bobble there from the double zero machine. I believe that was Nicholas Vickery got an infield tractor tire. He was able to gather it up and continues on running in position number 8. And we've got a lead change out front. The 15 of Justin Sick to the point. Sick, your new race leader here with 13 laps to go. Sick taking over the lead there at lap 16. We'll have to come back and see if we get a Malcolm's Mills replay of the move as Major runs in second, Duranko in third, Kyle Parker and Leroy Buscombe, your top 5 on this one as they sail it on in to the top side of the speedway. Duranko running in third. Look at Kyle Parker. He's trying to make some hay on the bottom side of the speedway. Everybody else got the right rear quarter next to the concrete. He says, if I'm going to go from 4th to 1st on this one, I can't just follow. I've already gained 9 spots. Now he's got 10 more laps to try to get to the front. Justin Sick will lead this one. Francis Major all over him. Duranko back to the inside there as well. 3-horse battle for the race lead with Kyle Parker in the mix as well, and not far back to Buscombe, who completes your top 5. 5 cars racing there in the top 5, all bunched together with 9 laps to go. Duranko dove to the bottom of the racetrack, and Parker's going to sneak around the outside as the caution flag comes out over the speedway. Let's go back on a Malcolm's Mills replay here to lap number 16. And let's take a look at the battle for the race lead. Duranko goes to the bottom, and Sick just drives around his outside and brings Major with him. So, interesting choice there, Alan Duranko, your race leader. You've always got to start to think about, do I need to change lines? And he made the decision there. He wanted to try something different, and it costs him 2 spots back on lap number 16. And we've been following that action feverishly since that point. So that is how we got here with your leaders out front. Justin Sick, the 15S, showing the way on this one now, inside of 10 laps to go. As we talked about in the Gambler Motorsports pre-race show earlier tonight, we have yet to have a repeat winner here on Thursday Night Thunder. In fact, we haven't had a repeat winner with the Renegades on Monday night either. But talking about these Epsilon Sprint Wraps big block modifieds, Kevin Fry, AJ Abreda, Kyle Parker, they have been to victory lane. Justin Sick has not been to victory lane yet this season with these Epsilon Sprint Wraps big block modifieds. He's been very consistent, and that's why he's your points leader. 8 laps to go when we get the green flag here off of turn number 4. Sick is your leader. Green flag high in the air. We are back underway as they hustle on down into turn number 1. Sick will lead. Major goes to the top right there behind him. Duranko works the bottom. Kyle Parker did not get a great restart. Neither did Buscombe. They've all kind of spread out a little bit here with 8 to go, coming to 7 to go. There you see Pepiot all over Buscom as he comes off the turn number 4. Aiden Young from the B main running in the 7th spot right there in the middle of the speedway in front of Nicholas Vickery. Jeffrey Barker, we've got to make mention of this driver right here, the 513 machine. He started deep in the field. He's now 9th. He's gained 13 spots in front of Andrew Smith. Smith right there, the 79, he's gained 10 spots. So plenty of passing going on here tonight in this event. Oh, we've got trouble. Pepiot into the wall. The 47 machine turned around, and oh boy, we've got him stacked up here on this one as the caution flag flies over the speedway. Here's a Malcolm's Mills replay on this one. Pepiot to the bottom. Oh, he's going to throw the slider on Leroy Buscom, and they touch in turn 2. Pepiot, nice. That is a sportsman thing to do, though. He knew he wasn't going to clear him. He threw the car sideways. And then, well, a couple more drivers going to make contact there. Chris Steele, the 80. Nicholas Vickery, the 00. And Rory Collins had a good night going until we were about 5 laps into this A main. Now he's had everything, all sorts of bad luck, all surrounding him all through this one. And he finds a little more of it there on that one. So under the caution, there you see Collins got turned around. Under the caution for an incident here involving some of our fast drivers here this evening. We should have 5 to go when we get the green off of turn number 4 next time around. Justin Sick continuing to show the way. View from the back of our pace truck here. There you see the mud starting to collect down the 15 of Sick. Everybody single file all around him as they'll make their way down into turn 4. The pace truck has dropped them off. Sick is in control of the pace right now and bringing us back to the green. He'll put the right foot down. Here we go. Justin Sick with 5 laps remaining, looking to become our 4th different winner in the Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Blocks this season. Sick looking very strong. What a restart for that driver as he is out to more than a half-second lead over Bam Bam in that 2nd spot. Kyle Parker running in 3rd from 13th on the grid. Coming from the B main, there's Duranko Buscom, and now Aiden Young from the B main trying to break into the top 5 as well. Look at the battle there off of turn 4. Caution flag is out. Caution back out over the speedway. Just a couple of laps remaining on this one. Boy, oh boy, just when you think Justin Sick is starting to get some breathing room, caution comes out, and he's going to have to nail one of those perfect restarts once again. One career win with the GeForce Racing Leagues for your race leader right now. Thirteen career top 10s with the GeForce Racing Leagues. 11 of those have been top 5s. Not a lot of races with GeForce under his belt, though. This is 18th career start, so keep an eye on this one. Francis Major still right there. Keep in mind, these top 2 on the racetrack, your top 2 in the points coming into tonight. And Daniel Blau has certainly had some struggles here this evening in the 17. He come in 3rd. Jeffrey Barker was 4th. Kyle Parker 5th. So we've got some points implications to think about on this one. But right now, these drivers thinking about the final 3 laps and what they can do to chase down Justin Sick with a limited amount of time remaining. Aiden Young solidly in the top 5. Started 15th on the grid. Jeffrey Barker from 27 second up to the 8th spot in that 5-1-3. Wow, what a night for him. John Hine, he had trouble earlier. He's back into the top 10. Justin Sick, though, he's going to see a white flag. Francis Major sees all of Justin Sick right there in front of him. Kyle Parker in the mix as well. 3 cars hustling down into turn number 1 on this final lap. Does anybody throw the haymaker when we get to turn 3? Sick has the lead. There goes Kyle Parker to the bottom. He'll slide up in front of Francis Major for second, but tonight it's Justin Sick getting the win with the big blocks. Wow, what a move there on the last lap from Kyle Parker. He'll steal a spot from Francis Major. Aiden Young got up to the 4th spot after starting 15th. And Duranko going to complete your top 5 here tonight as those drivers going to head them on down to the Epsilon Sprint Wraps Victory Lane. Wow, what a feature event here this evening as we'll have an opportunity to look at your official results before we talk to our drivers here in the Epsilon Sprint Wraps podium presentation. Justin Sick, your A-main winner by just under 0.4 of a second over Kyle Parker. Francis Major 3rd, Aiden Young 4th, and Alan Duranko finishes in 5th. Leroy Buscombe was 6th, Nicholas Vickery 7th, Jeffrey Barker was 8th, Stephen Spees 9th, and Steve Shaw Sr. completing your top 10 here this evening. 11th to John Hine. Jeffrey Kemper was 12th. G.J. Boydell 13th. Garrett Pepiot finishes 14th. Andrew Smith 15th. 16th tonight going to Zach Chapman. Troy Stewart was 17th. Lance Ripka going to claim 18th. Chris Steele 19th and Rory Collins 20th. Daniel Blau 21st. A.J. Abreda 22nd. Chase Blau finishes 23rd. And Brennan Weeks finishes 24th here this evening. A night that's going to belong to Justin Sick. We will hear from him and your other podium finishers here in just a couple of moments. As we make our way down into the Epsilon Sprint Wraps podium presentation area. And we will hear from those drivers. Let's start with Jeff Barker, who, wow, did this driver put on a show here tonight. Jeff Barker, you started 22nd here this evening, and if I told you in the staging area that you would drive yourself up there into an 8th place position, would you have believed me at that point?
No, because I got nothing done earlier in the night.
What was that like for you out there?
Oh, it was fun. It's fun. It was a really good race. Everybody was pretty much clean. There was a couple of incidents, but everybody was running pretty clean, and I used a small block, so I got to basically ignore all the bumps, and that was kind of the plan. I figured it would be good in the feature.
Well, during that last caution, or one of the last cautions, I was talking about how I wasn't sure if anyone would utilize the small block here tonight, and you did. What was the advantage to that in your mind?
Well, that 100-pound weight break you get, and it doesn't bounce nearly as bad as the big block does when you start hitting the bumps, and Charlotte's pretty bumpy, so I was just figuring drivability would get me someplace.
Well, it certainly did someplace. How about plus 14 to pick up the award here tonight, the Cool Ray Cooling, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical Hard Charger Award. Congratulations on that. Who do you need to thank?
Oh, as always, GeForce Racing Leagues, Cool Ray, obviously, you guys for putting the show on, and thank the Academy and all the.
I like it. Sweet looking car too, by the way. Very bright.
Yep, that's an off the rack car. A guy named John Ada does some good ones. They're on Trading Paints.
Ah, very cool. Congratulations, and we'll see you again next Thursday night.
All right, thanks, Sean. Have a good one.
You bet. Jeffrey Barker, your Cool Ray Hard Charger Award recipient here tonight. Now we've got some more drivers to talk to. We're going to talk to this driver in the 3rd spot. Francis Major is going to finish 3rd here tonight. He gained 5 spots. Bam Bam, pretty good night for the 25 machine. Tell me about it.
Oh, yes, that's a very good night, and wow, it's amazing night.
You were battling up there for the lead. What was going through your mind there in those last few laps?
Oh, on the last few laps, I just say the gas on every corner, every stretch, and I want to I want to try the slide job at the last turn, but I know when Kyle is on my back and he's going on the on top side and he's passing me, that's a very good night.
What you're sitting here in the points, number 2 coming into tonight. Are you looking at the point standings at this point of the season?
Yes, I check every Friday morning the point standing.
Well, great night for you here, Bam Bam, finishing in the 3rd spot. Who do you need to thank for the podium performance?
Yes, I would like thanks every sponsor, my buddies at Cowboys and Yan for Mechanic Robertson Bliss, Vaillant Auto Sports, L'Expert La Remorque, PMD Wraps, Patrick Maltez make me every nice car every season or every month, and RDA Container. Thank you so much, every people to help me out on the season.
All right, there he is, Francis Bam Bam Major, finishing in the 3rd spot tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right, 3rd place going to Bam Bam here tonight. Let's talk to the driver who was right there with him, battling it out tooth and nail at the end, that being Kyle Parker. Kyle had to start a little deep in the field here tonight after the B main, but position number 2, not a bad way to salvage the night.
Oh yeah, we'll take that definitely. I wish I didn't have to start all the way back there, but it happens. You gotta face your penalties if you do something wrong, So, but I'll take it. I'll take a 2nd place finish any night.
Take us through those last few laps. You got into the top 5. You got a caution, bunched everybody up. You got another spot, caution, bunched everybody up, and then last couple of corners. You seem to, well, first before that, you seem to find something on the bottom when nobody else wanted to go down there in the top 5.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I noticed a lot of people, man, wasn't running that bottom. So I'm just gonna stick to the bottom. If it works, it works. And I started, seeing the relative shrink down on the guys in front. So I stayed there, and I wish the bottom was still there towards the end, because I think I would have had a shot at Justin, but it went away. So then I had to go, find another lane to try to get by, because you can't, if you're running the same lane as the guys, what are you going to do? You're just going to follow the leader. So you got to make something happen. And I really liked the middle in 3 and 4. That felt great. And I should have, maybe if I went there a little earlier, maybe I could have had something for Justin. But other than that, man, I'll take this 2nd place finish, and I love to see Justin win it. He works hard, and it's showing. So I'm glad he got the win tonight.
Last lap, you take the white flag running in 3rd. You get to turn 3. Was it haymaker time? You threw a big old slider down there.
Yeah, I knew, because whenever the leader, you're single file, and the leader always has the benefit of, going whenever he wants. So it's always a mind game. So if you get a good start, or you don't, he can get a second head start if you don't get on the throttle quick enough. But I knew I had a good start. I was right on Francis's bumper throughout the whole, the last 2 laps. And going into turn 3, I wish I was a little closer, because I definitely thought about it when I came out of turn 2. I'm like, I think it's time to throw that haymaker. And then I realized that I wasn't, as close as I wanted to be, and I didn't want to slide up in front of Justin on the side, or probably smash him into the wall. So I was like, I'm just gonna do a little mid slider line and take home 2nd. And that's what happened.
It worked to perfection. I got to ask you, 358 or big block?
Big block. Big
right.
block tonight.
And who do you need to thank for the strong run?
I got to thank Spartan Racing, as always. Those guys are one of the best teammates you can ever ask for. So they make this even more fun, So that's definitely a thanks for those guys. Got to thank VMR Wraps for the design of the car. Turn 5 Media, Kingsley Heating and AC, and Diggs Racing Setups, and you guys for the broadcast. As always, you guys do a killer job, and GForce for putting this all together.
Very awesome. Congratulations on the strong run tonight. Plus 11 on the tally, and runner-up to boot. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Kyle Parker finishes in the runner-up spot here this evening. One more driver to talk to, and that's the man on the top of the podium here this evening. That is Justin Sick. Justin, that 15S looked strong here tonight. Had to feel good driving it.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. It was definitely a fun race. I told the guys after, when we got in here, I was like, you guys got me sweating. I was working it, man. They gave me a challenge.
It seemed like you'd get out, you'd get into a rhythm here tonight, and then you'd get a caution, you'd get everybody bunched up right there on your tail. How nerve-wracking were those yellow flags? How much were you talking to yourself idling around under the yellow?
It was you may not ever hear this, but I was kind of banking on those yellows. I was hoping to get a lap or two in at a time, and then the yellow come out. And as long as I could time my restarts, like I think I did, I was good, and I got to choose my line. I was the first one out the gate, and I was just, like Kyle said, it's a mind game. You got to try to get them off guard, and that's, I feel like I succeeded with that tonight.
Yeah, from our vantage point as well, you were lights out on those restarts here all night long with that 15S. You feel good. You've got a good restart, but we bunch him up with a couple to go. Francis is on your bumper at the white flag. Kyle's right there nipping on his heels. Were you ready for the big slide job when you got to turn 3 coming to the checkered?
Yeah, I was waiting for it. I told them that as well. Like Francis and Kyle, they're both really good drivers. I like racing with them, and but I was expecting it out of one of them. And I was pleased and shocked all at the same time to see that it never did show up. So thanks for that.
Yeah. Well, you'll see on the replay here. Francis was setting up for it, and Kyle kind of beat him to the punch, and then they had to fight with each other behind you, and kind of left you alone out front to come claim that checkered flag. It says here in front of me this is your second G-Force win. Is that correct?
So I think I'm getting points right now.
Yeah, that was going to be the follow-up there is if you're looking at the points at this point of the season, especially when your name's sitting up there on top of it.
Yeah, I'm excited, and I'm in it to win it. So let's go.
Well, certainly can't do much better than winning, having a strong performance like you did here tonight. Who do you got to thank to put you out here in P1 this evening?
I thank the guys at the Firm Motorsports, man. Without those guys, I probably wouldn't be sitting here talking to y'all right now. ABR setup shop, wasn't a factor for tonight, but he does great stuff, and his stuff's been pretty good on my part too. So Apex Auto Glass and Tinting, Mason's Transport, 21 Designs, GForce, I'm partnered up with them now. I'm excited with that. You guys for putting on a great show. My girlfriend, she's waiting for me to come to bed, so I thank her for letting me do this every night, and it's fun. I look forward to next week.
It's good to see you out front here. Congratulations on that. And one last question before you go: 358 or big block?
Putting the power down, baby. Big block.
All right. The control is in the right foot. Congratulations, Justin Sick, winner here tonight at the dirt track. So there he goes, Justin Sick, your winner here tonight at the dirt track at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, becoming the fourth different winner in 4 weeks of action here for these Epsilon Sprint Wraps Big Block Modifieds. What a start to the season we are enjoying with these big blocks. Of course, we will be back in action tomorrow night. You can tune in and catch all of the action of the Spartan Racing Pro Late Models, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central, for some Friday night fun. Our friends over at OSRN, they'll have the call. We'll be back on Monday Night Madness, the SBGC 3D Printing Renegade Series, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central for the 360 Sprint Cars. And don't forget about Welcome Home Wednesdays, Hometown Heroes, each and every Wednesday night, 3 consecutive hours starting at 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. Anchored, started there with the Crate 305 sprints and 3 total divisions of action each and every Wednesday night from the Cedar Lake Speedway, just like your hometown racetrack, but doing it here on iRacing with the Icon Sim Sports Hometown Heroes. And we'll be back here next Thursday night for more Thunder action live from Bristol with these big blocks. I think they're all going to go for the power next week on that racetrack that measures just over a half mile. It'll be a big one. That's going to do it for my counterpart, Scotty DeYoung, Scotty Too Hottie. We look forward to having him back here real soon. I'm Sean Neested saying good night and God bless. Goodbye, everybody.